Are you guessing or eyeballing your exposure levels on set? If you're serious about taking your skills to the next level, you need to learn how to use your video scopes. When it comes to your exposure, the separation of highlights, midtones, and shadows, and measuring contrast ratios, you can't simply guess. You need to actually measure them. Your camera or external monitor has different scopes for you to use to make sure you achieve the desired results. Zebras may not be a scope per se, but it's a measuring tool just about every camera has. Zebras are a white pattern overlaid on top of your image to measure an IRE threshold. If you're not familiar with IRE, it's how brightness is measured, expressed in percentages from 0% pure black to 100% pure white. I set mine to 70% to monitor the peak of my midtones. Some set it to 100% as a way to ensure nothing is being clipped. Zebras are incredibly useful for quickly checking exposure in camera, but they only measure one level of brightness. Nearly every camera is also equipped with a histogram. This graphical representation shows the IRE level across your entire image. The bottom axis represents the IRE value from 0% on the left to 100% on the right. The vertical axes indicate how many pixels are at that IRE value. It's a great tool for getting a snapshot of your overall exposure. However, it doesn't indicate where in the frame these brightness levels are occurring. So you can see if any pixels are clipping or crushed, but not which part of the image is over or underexposed. Unlike the histogram, the waveform shows you the brightness level at specific locations across the image. IRE values are displayed along the vertical axes, with 0% IRE at the bottom and 100% at the top, while the horizontal axis represents the image. Using the waveform, you can identify every area of your image and its IRE value, making it invaluable for ensuring proper exposure. Now, my favorite and the one I use on every single shot, false color. This tool assigns different colors to various IRE level, giving you an instant visual map of exposure across your image. Each color represents a specific range of exposure, making it easy to identify and adjust highlights, midtones, and shadows precisely. This tool is a game changer for achieving perfect exposure, separation, and contrast ratio. I can look at the image and determine where I need to add or take away lights to achieve the desired ratio. Contrast ratios are expressed in stops, not in IRE, so using false colors will take a little getting used to in order to identify the number of stops between, let's say, your key and your fill. The EL zone system, developed by cinematographer Ed Lockman, is like false color, but it interprets brightness in stops, not in IRE. It uses middle gray as its starting point and measures up to 6 stops over middle gray and 6 stops below. The EL zone system is starting to be incorporated into different monitor models like Small HD and Atomos. Unfortunately, it's not available for my model, but I was able to create a LUT to replicate the EL zone system and upload it to my camera and my monitor. Using the EL zone system, you can quickly identify any contrast ratio. So for example, in this interview, you can see that the key side is about half a stop over middle gray, and the fill light is about half a stop below middle gray, giving us a 2-to-1 ratio. However, I normally prefer more contrast, like a 4-to-1 ratio. In this interview, you can see that the key side is about 1 stop over middle gray, and that the fill light is 1 stop below middle gray, making it a 4-to-1 ratio. Mastering exposure is not a guess, but a precise science, especially with today's log format. Each log type needs to be exposed specifically, so S-log is exposed differently than C-log or any other format you might use. But it's also very much a creative process, deciding what your picture will look like ahead of the shoot and executing on that creative brief. With video scope like Zebras, Histogram, Waveform, and false colors, you can make informed decisions to achieve the results you want. Thanks a lot for watching until the end, and as a token of my appreciation, I'd like to offer you my free camera setting cheat sheet. Just follow the link below to download the free cheat sheet. Thanks again, and happy filming.